What's good, my little me? Welcome back to another lovely, beautiful, sexy, amazing video of the equally lovely, equally beautiful, equally sexy, and equally amazing LiTTy. I already know what time it is. Now let's go. Now guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Dave's next album and why it is the most important album for him. And we're going to break this down in way more detail, but you know what you got to do. You just got to like, comment, subscribe, up there, and drop a banger like this one. And hit that note, because you're in an ease. You can be the first to know when one of these videos comes out. And without further ado, let's get straight in. Now guys, in today's video, we have a very important topic to discuss and I have a very important statement to make. Dave's next album is his most important album of his entire career. And don't worry, I'll explain why. As you may know, Dave has currently got 2 studio albums to his name, the first being the critically and commercially acclaimed Psychodrama, and the second being We're All Alone in This Together. And whilst I do think Psychodrama is a significantly better project than We're All Alone, you know, in terms of quality and replay value and things of that nature, there's definitely some gems to be found in the second project. But now we're looking towards the future. Of course, Dave has teased his third album quite a lot. He did an April Fool's joke about it and all things like that. But the reason why I say it's his most important album, I mean, firstly, let's be real. There seems to be a 3-album curse in the UK. It seems like every time a UK rapper drops their third album, it's always garbage. Oh, you don't believe me? Let's take a look at the facts. The most obvious one is Dave's friend Stormzy. His first album, Gang Signs and Prayer, amazing. Second album, Heavy as the Head, decent. But the third album was absolute dumpster juice. That album is just the worst. And then if we look at someone like J Hus, first album, Common Sense. Now you guys know that I hold Common Sense in very high regard. In fact, I hold it as one of the best UK rap albums of the 2010s. Quality. Second album, Big Conspiracy. You know, it was a good project. I won't lie, it's a good project. And then the third album, Beautiful and Brutal Yard, was beautifully and brutally mid. Yeah! Even if we look at someone like Heady One, he had that Music and Road album, which was kind of a mixtape, but it was like a commercial mixtape. It was basically an album. That was pretty good. He had Edna, which was amazing. And then he gave us the collab album with Fred again called Gang, which was complete and utter garbage.
I don't know what kind of herb from Jamaica you've been smoking, but that is disgusting crap.
So I say all that to say, I really don't want to see the same thing happening with Dave's third album. Because all of those people that I've mentioned, they're kind of out of the UK music zeitgeist now, unfortunately. I mean, I can't hear anyone clamoring for new Stormzy music. They're really more concerned about him and Maya Jama. People aren't really clamoring for J Hus new music like they were before the album came out. Before the album came out, the hype was bigger than ever, but now nobody's really cares like that. And Heady One just dropped his album, came and went as well. But of course, all jokes aside, the more significant reason why Dave's third album is his most important is because this is Dave's chance to really cement himself in the UK as the #1 frontrunner in terms of UK rap music. It's a title that I think Dave is definitely deserving of. He has the skills for it. He's got the numbers for it. He's got the accolades to back it up. But I never really hear him, you know, on his braggadocious, like, I'm the best in the UK. No one can F with me. I mean, he talks about how rich he is. He talks about how many good songs he has. But, like, he doesn't really say there's no other rapper. No one can rap like me. Like, your favorite rapper isn't as good as me. No one's got albums like me. Like, he doesn't really talk that talk. But if this third album bangs and is on the same level or even better than Psychodrama, I firmly believe that puts Dave as the undisputed king of the UK. Now, of course, we do have Central C, who I believe is kind of on top right now, but we're still waiting for that Central C album to come out. The mixtapes he's dropped are great, but there's no full-on Central C body of work, at least right now, that can even hold a slight candle to any one of Dave's albums. Like 23... Wild West, like, that's child's play compared to Psychodrama and We're All Alone in This Together, let's be real. And then if we're talking numbers wise, obviously Central C is the king of numbers. However, Dave still has more #1 songs than Central C, more #1 singles and albums. Dave even has more charting songs in the UK than Central C, with 41 songs compared to Central C's 35, which obviously that's not that big of a gap and could change once Central C drops his album too, but right now that's what it is. But as I said, Central looks like the only one Dave has to worry about right now. You know, J Hus could have put himself firmly in that conversation if his last album banged as well, but he kind of fumbled that opportunity and now people aren't really taking him seriously. as I said, Stormzy is too busy doing up Love and Hip Hop with Maya Jama right now to even drop an album that actually sounds like the Stormzy that we want to hear. So he's out the frame as well. Actually, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I just remembered that Stormzy and Maya Jama have broken up recently. So we might be in for the best Stormzy album that we've ever had with his next project now. I'm hoping and I'm praying for that. But again, that's why this third album is so important, because it could go one of two ways. If the album's really good, he cements himself as #1. But if the album, God forbid, is bad, or even if it's mid, that does start to put Dave's place as #1 in a bit of jeopardy, I'll be honest. Because imagine the Dave album is bad and the Central C album is phenomenal. Then I can't lie, Central C overtakes Dave. He might have a couple #1s on that album. And then what does Dave have to say? Central will have two number one albums, multiple #1 singles. And so it's basically raps for Dave. So Dave really needs to lock in on this third album, because he's never going to get another opportunity like this to cement himself as the UK #1. The crown is basically there for the taking, so now it's really just about who wants it as bad. And the third reason why Dave's third album is the most important is the time difference between albums has been too large. Unfortunately, we live in a time in UK rap music, and just music in general, to be honest, where it's not what have you done, it's what have you done for me lately. And I'll be real, Dave hasn't done a lot for us in a very long time. The last time we heard a full body of work from Dave was 2021, and that was basically when we were all still in lockdown. So times were very different back then. Now, of course, people are going to point to the EP that he dropped with Central C called Split Decision in 2023 as a showcase of a body of work from Dave. However, I must say that EP, it doesn't count, respectfully. Like, it was only 4 songs, and in fact it was really more like 3 songs, because that Our 25th Birthday Is Dead, I'm not listening to that again. I don't think many people listen to that multiple times either. I don't think that song charted, I can't lie, or if it did, it didn't even chart in like the top 50. Of course, Sprinter was a global hit, that goes without saying, and you know, UK Rap and Trojan Horse were good songs as well, but it was really only Sprinter that managed to last, you know, the test of time from that EP. So when we really deep it, it was really only one tune off that EP that had any sort of impact. Of course, the impact was huge, but it was only one song. Now, of course, Dave did show up on a few other people's tunes last year as well. He was on the Cheat On Me song with Burna Boy. He was on the Incredible Sauce song with Giggs this year. But I find that these types of songs really help the artist more than they help Dave. You know what I mean? Like Incredible Sauce, I mean, Dave had an okay verse on that song, but I didn't listen to that song and think, damn, like Dave needs to drop this album ASAP. That song really helps Giggs get back into the UK music zeitgeist more than Dave. So I really think Dave needs to start picking his features a bit more carefully when he's in the run-up to this album. And he needs to start doing features that make sense, #1, and give him more time to shine on the actual song. Like, don't just do some phoned in verse where you sound like you're half asleep, because as I said, it's helping the artist more than it's helping you. But overall, I mean, I am looking forward to the new Dave album. I think it's going to be spectacular. I don't think Dave is going to disappoint, but it is starting to get a little worrying that he's taken so long to drop this project. I mean, ideally, this should have come out 2024 summer, and it should have been the album of the summer. I don't think a Dave drop in winter is something that we want to see, or something that we really care about. Like, we don't want to hear a Dave album when it's cold. Like, come on, man. And if he's planning to drop it in 2025, boy, then that means it would be a 4-year gap since the last album, which is honestly insane. If he is going to do that, he better start running up some features from now until then to keep his momentum. Otherwise, it might not be looking good, bruv. And if Central C drops around the same time, yeah, it could get techie. But in the words of anyone,
it's a bit of a sticky one still.
But let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think album is his most important? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. But on the road to 3,000 subs, you know what time it is. You can follow my personal IG at LiTTyENT. If you care about what I do, I'm not making these bangers for you. I'll post updates on Twitter as well, so you might as well follow me on there. What else you do in real life? Absolutely nothing, mate. I bet. Peace.
Oh, you ain't know I could sing.